Yo, welcome back to the Jam Podcast. I'm Miller.
Gav.
And today we will be breaking down the national championship between Michigan and UConn. Michigan are the national champions with the 69-63 W. What a beautiful game. Just a fun game, in my opinion. You had two teams. This might have been the most physical national championship I've ever seen
Yeah, it
in my
looked like a
life.
football game.
Literally. I mean, there were some fouls that they didn't call, some ticky tack fouls that they called. What I always say though is that if you're gonna be bad on both sides, and they were bad on
Right.
both sides tonight. So I
Yeah.
didn't mind. But Gav, real quick, just give me your biggest takeaway from this game and what you saw from why Michigan won this game.
Yeah. So first of all, them missing three free throws the entire game, shooting 25 plus, is huge. I mean, that's what wins you games.
Yeah.
And then UConn going about I think 10 for 14 or somewhere around there from free throw line. That's a big difference in the game. The most surprising thing for me was that the backcourt was the difference in this game. Going into the game, I'm like, how is UConn going to deal with the front court? And they struggled at times. That's why they got in foul trouble early. But the discrepancy between I didn't see Elliott outplaying honestly like the entire backcourt for UConn him by himself, and that was pretty impressive. And him being a former Tar Heel kind of hits home, but yeah, Tar Heels got some good news we'll talk about later. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that that's really the biggest surprising thing for me that kind of determined the game. Um, Elliott was the best player in the Final Four.
Yeah.
He's not the best player, but in this Final Four, he was the best player. And um, their elite front court got them there, and their guard play won them. I mean, that McKinney as a freshman, that's a big three that he hit towards the end of that game. And thing about college basketball is the game could have went either way. He doesn't get that three, solo ball makes a layup, they get back on defense. So it's crazy. It was about to be a 4 point game instead. It's a 9 point game. Like we got a completely different game now. So I feel like those are the big differences for me on my end.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the same thing. Elliott outplayed, and yes, he outplayed the backcourt, but specifically, he almost rendered Jaden Bradley and Silas Damari. He got them both in foul trouble early in the game.
Yep.
So, though their starting point guards in the Final Four couldn't even compete against Elliott. And you could say, especially in this game, Elliott was, throwing his head back, uh, grifting for calls. That's okay. And what I saw was he was initiating the contact and bringing force to the game. And that's what I
Yeah.
respected about it. There was some plays where he was just bumping for no reason, and I'm like, dude, this guy is playing with his hair on fire, like he's going to get it.
Yeah.
And once again, it's the second straight game where I look at it, and it's like a lot of people. I feel like the notion is that he got away with some stuff, but I just thought that he played with more intensity than everybody else on the court.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
I
he got
saw.
away with some things, but that's not the difference in the game.
No, not at
I
all.
mean,
And
UConn went. They were on an 0 for 8 stretch from three in the second half, over 10, something along those lines. So, like, there's other ways you could have won the game. I wouldn't blame the rest on this one.
yeah, and you saying that as well. I thought UConn and Michigan, I thought they played just as good as each other. Like going into it, I obviously thought Michigan was the better team. You obviously thought Michigan was the better team, but the way the game was played, if you watch the game, UConn was getting good looks offensively
They
throughout.
were.
I'm talking about Braylon Mullins, who couldn't hit it felt like he couldn't hit a shot until like the very end. Um,
Right.
Caravan was hitting some, but really it's not like he was on fire. Solo ball started out pretty good, and he was ended up 3 for 7 from
Foul
three, so
trouble.
not horrible. But yeah, he got in foul trouble, lost his groove, and even more impressive in my opinion, Taurus Reed and Rebe in his limited minutes got in and were walling up Ade Mara, and
Yeah.
and that was pretty impressive. And like I predicted as well, Merez Johnson dominated in the first stretch of this game,
Yep.
so that was obviously going to be a problem for them. But it was just, I think it was an amazing fight. What do you think about Yaxel playing through injury in this game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I'm an NBA GM, it upped his draft stock. If I'm a winning team, if I'm a young and up and coming team, if I'm the Spurs, if I'm the Hornets, he's an easy plug and play right away type of guy in my personal opinion. I feel like he showed, he didn't shoot the three ball well tonight, but he showed he can shoot the three ball as a nice little set shot. He's athletic, can play in transition, and at 6'9", he can guard and move extremely well. I mean, he's got the nickname Dominican Braun, but like he's really, I mean, he's just athletically gifted. he's not going to go top 5, probably not top 10, simply off of he's 23 years old. He doesn't have the ceiling of some of those guys, but I mean, he could come right in and be a 3-and-D guy possibly, and develop in a year or two, and play faster than some of these guys that might be more projects.
Yeah. And then I think another separator in this game were the two guards off Michigan's bench, Gale and McKinney.
Yeah,
Gale
Rodney Gale
with
and Trey McKinney were huge.
Gale with maybe not the most production on the stat sheet, but two of the most explosive plays of the game early
Yep.
on blocking. I forgot who he blocked, but it sounded like a gunshot. And McKinney or in the dunk over Taurus Reed. So
Right.
he had those, and then McKinney hit a couple points. And the balls to take that shot at the end with
Yeah.
like still 20 seconds left on the shot clock and just
He
saying,
hit
hey,
the midi and he hit that three.
yeah, no, the midi was tough. The midi, I
Mhm.
think he did like a half spin penny type of shot and made it. And he
Yes.
tried that earlier in the game and missed. Once again, it just goes to show like Dusty May. What I was most impressed about with Dusty May is the trust that he obviously had in his players to let them play within their games, and even more than that, to let them try stuff, build their confidence throughout the season. And that's what I think reflected throughout this whole championship March Madness run. His
Yeah.
team was more confident than everyone else. Maybe, in my opinion, I think Arizona's roster, maybe they weren't as big, but they were just as good. But the confidence Michigan played with this entire tournament, it was not like anything else. And once again, we've seen it in press conferences. We've seen it on Yaxel's lives. I mean, we've seen it everywhere. This team was extremely confident the entire tournament. And I think that's the
100%.
reason that they're standing here as national champions at this point.
100%. And I
Um,
think I think the biggest thing for Michigan is like, I guess the most exciting thing is, you got to see what Merez Johnson and Ademar are going to do NBA draft wise. Are they staying? Are they leaving? Merez is a sophomore and Mar is a junior. They both have stock in the 20s. They're going to be drafted in the 20s if they go 20s or 30s. But you got Brandon McCoy, a top freshman guard coming in, and Gale's coming back, McKinney's coming back, and Elliott's coming back. So it's crazy. As much as we talked about their front court next year, the entire Big Ten and the entire country, honestly, would be talking about how good their backcourt is,
yeah,
um, which is kind of crazy. And McKinney, Elliott, senior guard, McKinney's going to be one of the best sophomores in the country. Um, they're going to be fun to watch next year. I mean, the only place you got to reload is maybe one wing for Yaxel's position. Get a wing and get your front court, and you're good. So
yeah.
they're in a good
Um,
position to, make a run at repeating.
Absolutely, and they will definitely be in the mix next year with all those guards. UConn, real quick. Where I'm going to praise them is once again Dan Hurley, because in a 1 day turnaround from literally having a 1 day break, the
Yep.
looks they were getting consistently throughout this game, when you compare it to the other Michigan games, it was not even close. And you said it before the prediction that for UConn to win this game, they were going to have to slow the game down, run a set every
Yep.
possession, and that is exactly what they did. They got
Yep.
paint touches with Taurus Reed, tested Ademara down there every single time, got good 3-point looks. Once again, they shot 27% from three. That's not a good percentage at all. If they shoot maybe
No.
obviously 31, 32%, you might win this game. Like it's that
Yeah.
close.
It was a close game. I mean, a very close game. And I think what's impressive about Michigan is, I mean, they won the game and they won a national championship making 1 3.
Yeah.
And that's credit to their guards as well. It wasn't just throw it to the big, get a bucket. Their guards were getting layups. Their guard were, getting a few middies, but they were getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. I mean, a fourth of their points came from the free throw line. So that's just, I mean, it's just huge for them. So, I mean, that's impressive. If you'd have told me Michigan's only going to hit 1 3, like, UConn's got a shot to win
Yeah.
this thing, I would have probably picked them. But it's crazy how they still found a way to win. I mean, that's what winning teams do. They found a way to win under the kind of rare circumstances. They probably didn't shoot that bad all year long. So
Absolutely. And I do think, in my opinion, the two teams that played in the national championship were the best two teams in the country at this point. Now, you could obviously argue for some other teams, Duke, Arizona, but the way UConn was playing this entire tournament and the way Dan Hurley coached this team, it was like there was no I don't think there was other team other than Michigan that could have beat them because they stuck together throughout everything. Caravan hitting big shots, Mullins hitting big shots, like everything you wanted from this team. For me, I'm just very surprised on the talent level of this team and how they actually performed. And
Right.
I'm not saying that talent wise they have no talent, but
Yeah.
they played over expectations for everybody, in my opinion. I didn't see a lot of people picking UConn to make the Final Four at all. I saw more people picking St. John's and Michigan State than I saw
Yeah.
picking
I saw
UConn.
a lot of Houston, a lot of Illinois.
Yeah,
Obviously that's the other side, but yeah, I mean, people didn't pick them to come out essentially. Like even Duke. I mean, a lot of people had Duke. I mean, a lot of people had Duke as the favorite. So they definitely weren't picked to come out of the region as a favorite. And to make the national championship just shows that culture wins. And um, I mean, like I've even said it last year, they gave Florida a fight last year.
mm,
2 years before that, they went back to back. Like they're not an easy out in this tournament. And you got Ross coming back, Salas DeMar Jr. coming back. You would think Reba's going to develop. Solo
so
Ball's got another
yeah, I was
year.
about to say yeah,
So reload a little bit in the portal, but you got a good core right there to go into next year with. And Jalen Stewart should be coming back too. So
yeah,
that's a good core to go into next year with.
yeah. So, props to both of those teams. Great national championship. I told you it was one of the funnest national championships I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
fun game. I wish Solo would have made that layup. I mean,
yeah,
that would have made it extremely interesting. Michigan would have had to execute in the half court.
yeah. He did end up making that three, which at that point it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it was just. I
I
think
mean that
everybody in this
that
game.
missed layup three. We're talking about it's a 9 point game now, and
Yeah,
instead it would have been four with Michigan
exactly.
ball. UConn got to
Exactly.
get stopped.
That being said, I don't think anybody in this game like really underperformed. I just think it was
Nah,
it was it was heavyweight and they couldn't make
you
shots
could
with their
say you
feet.
could say Sal's DeMar Jr., but he didn't get to play. I mean,
Yeah,
and that was kind
exactly.
of the mismatch. Elliott versus anyone in the backcourt. To be honest, I think
And
that's what
I
it
even
got.
thought I don't know what Smith number 0.
Yeah,
I thought he gave good minutes, especially in the first half stint. Like he
yeah,
he held his own. Like it was just impressive because UConn usually does not go 9 deep. They're
no,
usually more of like a 7 deep type of team,
yeah.
regard or
And I
like
said, UConn fought really hard at the end, but I thought that they wouldn't have enough gas simply off the fact like early in the game they're getting in foul trouble.
yeah,
Silas has two, Solo has two. Their backcourt got to sit the whole first half. Then Taurus got two. Now you can't guard the front court, like so. It was definitely interesting. They did better
yeah.
than I thought they would, due to the early circumstances.
All right, but moving on. Once again, shout out Michigan. I was down y'all for a good portion of the tournament, but shout out to y'all.
Yeah,
Um, moving on to the UNC Chapel Hill news. We are picking up a NBA champion coach, Mike Malone. And I don't know if you could tell from my tone, I'm pretty excited. But
yeah. This is gonna be a fun era.
yeah, just tell me what your thoughts are off of
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I think recruitment wise, this is a pretty it could be a pretty easy pitch for the right kid. I mean, we saw it with BYU and Debansa. Um, their coach pretty much straight. He's an NBA guy. I'm gonna prepare you to. I know what the NBA looks like. I know what you need to do to be successful at the NBA level. And AJ Debansa brought in that. If we can get kids to buy into that, and no disrespect to Kevin Young, but he's not like as accomplished as Mike Malone. So
Right.
you know, Mike Malone pitching that to a kid. I know what it's like to coach NBA championship level players. And here's what you need to do to get there, and I can help you get there. It should be great. It should turn around we should be able to recruit a lot of good freshmen. My biggest question it's just portal. How can we get some upperclassmen? Can we get good upperclassmen to come and commit? And with us not having to pay a buyout of Oates' 18 millions, Tommy Lloyd's 9 million, buying 10's 11 million, all of these different buyouts, we don't have to pay a buyout at all. So that gives us a lot of money and flexibility to work with a roster now. And it's pretty exciting to see. It's kind of perfect timing. Obviously, the portal opens tomorrow. But I guess you could say we're a little behind. He doesn't have a staff yet, and the portal really has been open if
Yeah.
people aren't abiding by the rules. But it is better now than later because we had to wait for Billy Donovan. Everyone was going to be committed, and we were not going to get anybody. So
No. And
I like the timing of it as well.
and I'll be honest, Billy Donovan. Obviously, he's had success in college, winning with Florida, but as
Right.
far as an NBA coach goes, I don't think Billy Donovan in his tenure, whether it was with OKC or Chicago, showed what Mike Malone did in Denver. I honestly don't
No.
think Mike Malone should have ever been fired from Denver.
No, he shouldn't. He
Yeah,
shouldn't.
so if he was still there, I think the Denver Nuggets would be a better team as we speak right now. But
It's not crazy to say.
moving to UNC, just I thought after Tommy Lloyd signed his extension, we weren't hearing anything from TJ Otzelberger, who obviously loves Iowa. Um, Texas Tech coach, once again, all these buyout situations. I thought that for some reason we were going to hire lower than what the UNC brand name requires. And to pull this out a day before the portal, I just think it creates a lot of excitement for next season. Um,
Yeah.
and then also watching Elliott play the way he did in his Final Four, it's also kind of justified on why Hubert is gone. You don't want to put that on Hubert. Obviously, Elliott probably
Right.
loves Hubert, but just seeing that that's the point guard that we let go, that is not on the roster anymore, that was
Yeah.
in Hubert's system for
And
2
we
years.
didn't have a point guard this year. I mean, as much as I love Dixon, he was just young. And I'm hoping um, the two people I would like to get back is Vsar and Dixon. And maybe
Yes.
Jaron Stevenson as a bench piece or like the last starter. But other than that, I mean, we need to go hit the portal, get new guys, fill up
Yeah.
our backcourt, and get some wings. And yeah,
But there's no question that this team defensively is going to be more buttoned up,
yeah,
just more attentive. I just think it's a great hire.
it
Um,
is.
I do wonder with the styles. I always wonder with older coaches, kind of like Belichick going to, Chapel Hill in football.
Right.
Like, does the style of you coaching grown men translate to coaching 18 to
Yeah. And I
20?
think today in NIL, it does more than ever. And I think this is more like Pete Carroll to USC than it is Belichick to Chapel Hill, to be honest. I think he'll be just fine in the role. Seeing the clips of Mike Malone all through the NBA, seems like all his players loved him. He was very much a people person. So he has the personality I feel like to recruit and get a young talented player to come play for him. So, like I said, I think I could be wrong, but I think this is an easy pitch for, one and done freshman. I mean, Tyron Stokes is not committed yet. I don't know if we can, see what you know, what he's thinking, but I think it's could be a great pitch for upcoming freshmen. I think we just got to see how he does in the portal, and in the next literally 2 weeks will be very telling. And I'm interested to see, does his staff get filled with NBA guys?
Yeah.
What it gets filled up with. So, but it'll be interesting to see. But this is the right direction.
Yeah, real quick, this is just a question for you, and then we'll end it. Do you know what Tyron Stokes' final schools are? Is UNC?
I know Kansas is the favorite. I think I know Kansas. I know UNC's not wasn't in it though.
Okay.
Um, but I want to say like Kansas, Baylor. I'm not exactly sure though. I know Kansas is like the one like blue
Yeah,
blood. I think
I haven't seen that.
Kansas and Kentucky are the two I know.
Yeah.
So
So we will see, but hopefully, he brings us back to at least the round of 32. Um, but
facts.
great game tonight. Wonderful news for UNC. Great day overall. So thank you guys for tuning in. We had to get on here and make an episode. We're going to be more consistent from now on. And
Yup.
go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.